Welcome to today's Explainer. All right, we're going to jump right into this because today we are looking at something that honestly feels like it was pulled straight out of a sci-fi movie. But I promise you it is entirely real. Right now, over in Bhopal, India, this groundbreaking piece of futuristic infrastructure has just been installed. They're calling it the Algae Tree. Look, as our cities get more congested and the air gets more polluted, finding actual space for nature is getting incredibly hard. And that's exactly why today's explainer is so crucial. We are looking at how this specific technology might just be the ultimate solution for the future of urban infrastructure, especially for those stuffy underground metro stations where we spend way too much of our daily commutes. Now, to really understand why this is such a big deal, you just need to look at this one single number, 25. I really want you to let that staggering fact sink in for a second. This single artificial machine, this one engineered structure, literally cleans as much air as 25 large, fully grown trees. Just imagine the sheer amount of physical space 25 massive trees take up, right? Now imagine compressing all of that immense air purifying power into a single, sleek unit that's custom designed for the concrete jungle. It is an absolute game changer. Section 1. Anatomy of a super tree. Inside the machine. So who actually built this thing, and how does it pull off the impossible? Well, this biological machine was created in India by the team at the Mushroom World Group. And they didn't just throw this together over a weekend. It actually took 2 solid years of really intensive research by over 50 top engineers and biotechnologists to finally perfect this setup. Let's kind of peel back the exterior for a second and see what makes up this living machine. At the very core, you've got this massive, transparent acrylic cylinder, and it holds anywhere from 600 to 1,000 liters of water. And inside that water, billions, literally billions of microscopic algae. Down at the bottom, there are these heavy-duty base fans and a special microhull sparger. Up at the top, it's crowned with solar panels that power internal red and blue LED lights. So what you're looking at is a complete self-sustaining ecosystem built right into an industrial frame. But before we get into how it actually runs, we should probably clarify what it is. Because technically, it's not a tree at all. It is what scientists call a photobioreactor. Basically, that's just a high-tech biological machine that uses light sources to cultivate microorganisms, in our case, microalgae, to drive these really powerful biological reactions. The whole reactor relies on this brilliant 2-step mechanism that is part mechanical and part biological to completely scrub the air around us. Step 1. Mechanical scrubbing. Okay, so before we even touch the biology side of things, the machine has to deal with the immediate physical pollution right there on the street. Picture a heavy truck driving past, just blowing that thick, toxic blue smog into the air. How does this thing handle that? Well, it happens fast. First, smart sensors actively detect that traffic smoke. Instantly, those powerful base fans kick on and act like a giant vacuum, forcefully sucking that toxic air inside. Next, that dirty air is pushed under super high pressure through the microhull sparger at the bottom of the tank, which creates millions of tiny bubbles in the water. And as those bubbles rise up, the really dangerous PM 2.5 dust particles, the ones that cause severe respiratory issues, they are literally trapped and washed out right there in the water. And the crucial takeaway here is this number, 55%. In the engineering world, this first step is called wet scrubbing. And get this, that mechanical wet scrubbing process alone eliminates a massive 55% of the dust pollution from the vacuumed air. So more than half of the physical dirt is completely gone before the biology even kicks in. Step 2, the biological oxygen pump. Now, the dust might be washed away, but those bubbles are still carrying an invisible threat: highly toxic carbon dioxide. This is exactly where the brilliant engineering meets the sheer power of biology. Inside the tank, you have this biological pump. First, that leftover toxic CO2 inside the bubbles dissolves directly into the water. Remember those billions of living microalgae cells floating around? They immediately get to work. They violently pull in that dissolved CO2, just consuming it as fast as they can. And the byproduct? The algae release completely pure, fresh oxygen right back out into the city atmosphere. It is literally nature's ultimate filtration system, just hypercharged. And honestly, this brilliantly illustrates why an algae tree is so much more powerful than a real tree when it comes to pure air filtration. Just look at the comparison here. Real trees have to spend massive amounts of their energy just fighting gravity. I mean, they have to build thick trunks, heavy wood, and push deep roots into the soil just to stand upright. But these microalgae, they are suspended in water. They literally face zero gravity battles. That means they get to dedicate 100% of their energy strictly to eating CO2. But wait, what happens when the sun goes down? Because real trees just stop photosynthesizing at night? Well, not the algae tree. Those internal red and blue LED lights switch on, and they literally trick the algae into thinking it's still daytime. Because of this clever little engineering hack, the machine operates 24/7. It never sleeps. Working continuously like that, a single unit swallows 1.5 tons of CO2 every single year. And as if cleaning the air wasn't already enough, there is an incredible bonus feature here. Because the algae are eating so much CO2, they naturally multiply. And when they overpopulate, the machine actually extracts that extra green sludge. But that sludge is not waste. It can actually be converted into valuable biofuel to run engines, or it can be turned into highly effective agricultural fertilizer for farming. Think about that. The toxic pollution of the city is literally being transformed into fuel and food. Greening metros and highways, the future of urban infrastructure. So this is where we see the absolute ultimate application of this technology for our most challenging, space-constrained environments. This isn't just a neat little installation for a park. This is a vital solution for the future of urban infrastructure. After the success in Bhopal, they are already planning to expand these machines to major hubs like Mumbai, Bengaluru, and Delhi. And notice exactly where they're putting them. They are specifically targeting heavily congested underground metro stations and incredibly tight highway dividers. Think about your local subway station or some concrete traffic island. Normal trees simply cannot survive there. There's no sunlight, there's no deep soil, and the pollution is off the charts. But as a futuristic infrastructural upgrade, the algae tree absolutely thrives in those spots. Symbiosis, not replacement. Nature's high-tech bodyguard. Now, whenever we talk about engineering our way out of environmental problems, a very specific and totally valid concern always comes up. Will this replace real trees? It's the obvious question, right? If one machine equals 25 trees, do we just pave over the local parks and throw up a bunch of acrylic cylinders everywhere? The answer is a resounding no. Even the creators themselves use this really powerful metaphor. They call the algae tree nature's high-tech bodyguard, because real trees do things this machine could literally never do. Real trees provide homes. They provide food for birds and animals. Their roots actively strengthen the soil and prevent erosion. So this machine is not a replacement for the natural world. It is a protector of it. Ultimately, the algae tree is engineered specifically for those narrow concrete highways and extreme pollution zones, where real trees would literally suffocate. It's a highly specialized piece of infrastructure designed to step in and do the heavy lifting in toxic, space-constrained urban environments where actual nature simply cannot survive anymore. So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. Think about your own daily commute. Think about breathing in exhaust fumes at major intersections or that stagnant, heavy air down in the underground metro lines. How is this futuristic engineering going to reshape your city's subways and skyline in the next 5 to 10 years? We are looking at a future where our infrastructure doesn't just sit there passively. It actively cleans the world around us. Let that sink in. Keep your eyes open for these algae trees, because they might just be coming to a street corner or a subway platform near you sooner than you think.
Hey, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. And don't miss to press the bell icon for our next video. Thank you.